I wasn't expecting Caitlin Clark to be coming back this early, but ESPN put out an article earlier this week, kind of summing up. They was predicting Caitlin Clark to be back by August the 12th. Now, this just came out of the pipeline of the Indiana Fever front office. Let's pull it up right now.
The Golden Goose is back, and the entire basketball world is on edge. After weeks of silence and swirling speculation, Caitlin Clark's injury status has officially been upgraded to game-time decision, sending ripples through the WNBA landscape. The Indiana Fever's franchise cornerstone, the league's unrivaled ratings juggernaut, and the most influential figure in women's basketball is finally preparing to lace up her sneakers once more.
Caitlin effing Clark is a game-time decision. She is a game-time decision. She is, as far as I'm aware, someone said she's listed as questionable on the app. Someone said on the app she's listed as questionable. But she is a game-time decision, apparently. Look, if we're going to be honest, no.
When Caitlin Clark steps back onto the court, it's more than just a comeback, it's a revival. Her return marks the resurgence of the league's momentum, a shot of adrenaline the WNBA desperately needs. Without its golden ticket, the league has stumbled, with viewership plunging like a falling star. But now, the cavalry is arriving, and everyone from executives to rookies knows the stakes. What happens next could define not just this season, but the financial future of the entire league.
May be back, and that will leave a run of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games left to get ready for the playoff run. Right now, you're looking at the Atlanta Dream, or you're looking at the Phoenix Mercury, which should be very interesting considering all the plots around.
Here's the harsh truth everyone's thinking but few are willing to say out loud. Caitlin Clark is the engine driving the WNBA's visibility. Before her groin injury on July 15th, Indiana Fever games were pulling in a staggering 1.81 million viewers. The moment she exited the lineup, those numbers plummeted to just 847,000, a jaw-dropping 53% drop. It hit the league like a freight train loaded with reality checks, exposing just how much the WNBA's momentum hinges on one player.
Do this intelligently. No one person means as much to their league, whatever league it is, as Caitlin Clark means to the WNBA. And no person has done more for their league than what Caitlin Clark has done for the WNBA. Patrick Mahomes does not mean that much to the NFL. Steph Curry does not mean that much to the NBA. LeBron James does not mean that much to the NBA. She is a monster. When we look back on this, Caitlin Clark will be for the WNBA what Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
But it gets even more sobering. During Clark's absence, national WNBA viewership across all games cratered by 55%. Let that sink in. Over half the league's TV audience vanished because one player was sidelined. That's not just star power. That's economic dependency at a scale that would make any seasoned business executive break into a cold sweat.
You can't tell me that the Caitlin Clark effect isn't real. You knew when news broke yesterday that Caitlin Clark was going to be out for a few weeks, that ticket prices were going to go down, but I never expected them to go down 71% for the rivalry game. I can't help but laugh because the first thing that I thought of when I saw this was a quote that we got last year from Angel Reese when she was talking about how people don't just watch the WNBA for Caitlin. They watch it because of her as well. Hate to say it, those numbers don't lie. They're watching because of Caitlin.
The ticket market echoed the same brutal truth. With Caitlin Clark on the court, Indiana Fever games averaged $137 per ticket. Without her, that figure plunged to just $80. When the Fever faced the Chicago Sky without both Clark and Angel Reese, prices that once held strong at $86 tumbled to a mere $25. Even high-profile matchups weren't spared. Premium seats that once sold for $210 dropped to $95, while the cheapest options fell from $86 to just $25. Teams banking on her draw moved games to larger venues, only to be left holding the bag when she couldn't suit up. The Washington Mystics, for example, relocated a game to Baltimore specifically to capture the Clark effect. But once she was ruled out, ticket prices nosedived from $41 to a humiliating $14. The message couldn't be clearer. Her absence didn't just hurt, It emptied seats and erased revenue.
Tickets dropped 71% on TickPick after Caitlin Clark injury. The get-in price for the Chicago Sky versus Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever game was $86. After Caitlin Clark's injury announcement is now down to $25. And you Angel Reese fangirls will still believe and think that Angel Reese is the reason why people are watching the...
Sports economist Ryan Brewer estimated Caitlin Clark's economic impact could approach $1 billion this season. And that's no media hype. That figure accounts for merchandising, tourism, broadcast rights, and the full weight of what it means to be a cultural phenomenon that transcends the sport itself. Her presence alone injected an estimated $340 million into the Indiana Fever franchise, elevating them from a middling organization to the WNBA's most valuable asset. And the ripple effects don't stop in Indianapolis. They stretch across the entire league, reshaping its financial and cultural landscape in real time.
On the verge of seeing Caitlin Clark become bigger than the sport herself. WNBA viewing attendance is up over 200% since she joined the league. The Indiana Fever actually are outselling the Pacers, averaging over 17,000 attendance per game. That's crazy. $1 billion is the estimated increase in WNBA valuation based on Caitlin Clark alone. $1 billion. Now, this is up about 25% from the total economic value. Crazy to see these kind of numbers. I think we're on the verge of seeing something like MJ Tiger, where the average consumer goes to the TV because...
When Caitlin Clark takes the court, especially on the road, the numbers spike. Ticket prices increase by an average of 140%, with resale prices reaching as high as $312. Of the top 10 best-selling WNBA games on StubHub this season, every single one has featured the Indiana Fever. The ripple effect is just as powerful in retail. Dick's Sporting Goods reported a 233% year-over-year surge in WNBA merchandise sales, while Fanatics saw WNBA gear sales skyrocket by more than 500%. Clark now ranks among the top 20 best-selling athletes across all sports, and 6th among all basketball players, including NBA stars. Her endorsement power tells the same story. Clark's Nike deal is reportedly worth $28 million over 8 years, dwarfing her modest $76,535 WNBA salary, and laying bare the staggering disconnect between her value to the league and the compensation she receives.
Clark's agent, Aaron Kane, said Caitlin will never be paid what she's worth by the WNBA because it is quite literally impossible for them to pay her what she's worth. An economist at Indiana University Columbus calculated that Caitlin Clark was responsible for $36 million in economic impact to the city of Indianapolis, and that she is responsible for 27% of the entire WNBA's economic activity for this past season, including attendance, merchandise sales, and television. One player in a big league responsible for 27%.
Clark's impending return carries even more weight when you consider what the Indiana Fever have endured in her absence. The team has been operating in full-blown crisis mode. On August 7th against the Phoenix Mercury, both backup point guards, Ari McDonald and Sydney Colson, suffered season-ending injuries, forcing the Fever to sign 12-year veteran Odyssey Sims to a hardship contract just to fill the roster. Despite the chaos, Indiana has held its own, going 6-4 over its last 10 games, including a dominant 92-70 win over the Chicago Sky, achieved with only 9 players available. Kelsey Mitchell has stepped into the point guard role with poise, delivering a brilliant 26-point, 8-assist performance with just 1 turnover in that Chicago matchup. Meanwhile, Aaliyah Boston has been putting up video game-like numbers, shooting an astonishing 78% from the field over a 4-game stretch without Clark. Still, here's the uncomfortable truth. This is borrowed time. The Fever can survive without Caitlin Clark, but they can't thrive. They can't contend for championships, and they can't sustain the massive television ratings and ticket sales that turned them from an afterthought into the WNBA's main event. Even Sophie Cunningham put it bluntly, the team looks completely different with Clark on the floor.
Wondering about Odyssey, she is a guard, 5'8". She's a veteran, 33 years old. This is interesting. She's been an all-star. She's also was 2019 All-WNBA. 2014 All-Rookie team. She's had some good seasons. And no, she doesn't have a great history with the three-point shot. But if Caitlin Clark is coming back,